Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
And welcome to the Exeter Planning Board meeting of February 12th.
Nope. 20.
February, oh, excuse me, these are minutes. Let's read the right.
Still the 12th.
Sorry about that, everybody. February 26, 2026. And we'll start by introducing the board members this evening. I'm Langdon Plummer, Chair of the Board, and to my left,
Gwen English, regular member.
Nancy Belanger, Select Board Representative.
Dean Hubbard, alternate member.
Sam McLeod, alternate.
and John?
John Gruder.
And Marty Kennedy.
Okay. Jen is excused this evening. Where is our vice chair? He may be on the way, I don't
Skipped
know.
a few meetings lately.
Oh, he may be on vacation this week. Last time he had to get something done so they could go on vacation this week.
And then we
All
have
right.
Kristen Lang.
Oh, and Kristen
Kristen Murphy, the
Kristen Murphy
Conservation and Sustainability Planner.
is with us. And while we're talking about people, I would like to just indicate I've had the chance to meet starting on Tuesday because she could not work on Monday because I had some of that white stuff. Dawn Faringo.
Ringo.
And I would encourage you folks to stop by sometime you're near the town hall, introduce yourself. She's right on top of everything.
Who is he?
So she is
She.
She. Dawn,
she is the
D-A-W-N.
planning and
D-A-W, okay.
building
As in-
What's her
office
position?
administrator.
dishwasher.
What's her position? That
Her
one?
position is our planning board, planning department,
Planning and building
And building-
office administrator.
secretary. She's taken Barbara's
Barbara's
place.
place, yep, okay. I didn't
Yep.
hear that.
Very nice.
So, and rumor has it that
That's
she's
nice.
fitting right in beautifully. She is an experienced planning secretary, which is at least 1 or 2 feet up, so that's great. So we're good. All right. So, this evening is basically a work evening. We have minutes to approve, but we've just received them this evening, so I would look for motion to table.
So moved.
Second.
Second, we don't need to worry about these guys acting tonight because we're just going to be talking about things. So, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anyway, those with other feelings. Motion passes. Okay, that gives Gwen and others time to read those in great detail. Last time we had Scott Bogle here from Rockingham Planning Commission, and he presented the complete street
Fleet Street.
design guidelines. Are these online yet? Do you know? Or haven't been put on, or were they going to be?
I
Probably
mean,
not-
they're
probably
certainly
not till they're
online
approved.
in the packet,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
they're in the planning board packet
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
But I
So-
would imagine once they are
Okay.
finalized.
There's still a draft anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, he presented this last time and well received by us. And we did start some discussion, and when I found we're going to have some available time, I decided we would do a little work tonight and just focus on this document to try to see what our next steps are. I would say I've seen some of these steps taken already. Lincoln Street probably is an example.
Yeah.
These were used at that time, and I think some of Water Street, when it was done, the bump out that's shown on the cover is missing, but that's something that could be done without tearing up the street. So there's a bump out there so people don't get run over like the two gentlemen who were waiting for somebody to stop so they could cross. Of course, there's hardly any light there, but I saw them. And the gas pedal is not on the floor, so. And then it talks about the sidewalks being plowed quickly, and I think that the town is doing a great job considering that snow will not stop, and they barely have time to get it off the way. But I was pleased to see people listened when we had the blizzard kind of condition. There's just hardly anybody was out, so those people that had to take care of the road and do those things were able to do that. So thank you to the public for that. But back to this, I'm not sure just, it speaks about establishing a committee to kind of help move it along. And I think there's two routes on that one. Maybe there's more than that, but one way we would have to approach the select board would be that we establish our own subcommittee, sort of as we have with the
We have one.
three distinguished gentlemen, where is number two? Anyway, oh, here he is over here.
Yeah, he's over there.
He's skiing somewhere. Or certainly, I did speak to Scott tonight, and I said, we certainly want him to speak and present this
Yeah.
to the select board.
He's most knowledgeable by far.
Yeah, and yeah. So they know what's going on here anyway, and get a good chance to see and speak to the man who drove one, so to speak. So that would be two ways to do it. That would then, in my mind, be another committee, but it would probably become a select board committee. I don't know. Anyway, that's something we need to think about, how we feel that we would like to have it forward. And I'm not sure just what else needs to be done, how we're going to sort that out.
Well, would we ever do a video presentation on this?
We could.
You know, that Scott could obviously
Yes, yeah,
be the spokesperson, but we could support him, and
yeah,
so the people in town would, maybe a few of them would watch it.
yeah. Because it's starting to happen. But, somebody said to me, I don't want any of those white posts like you see in Portsmouth. Okay.
White post.
That's how they separate their bikes.
You go to Portsmouth and
Oh,
they got
that.
another street
Oh, yeah.
reorganized, how you see it. So,
Do you come in from High Street, right? No?
no, I come in from Newfields Road.
Oh, the other, okay.
And I
'Cause
moved from
every
High-
time I
moved
drive
the other
down
side
here
of
on
the river, the
oh,
other
yeah,
side of the
okay,
the highway, yeah, it's quieter over there.
all right. But every time I come down here on a Thursday night,
Coming down High
oh,
Street.
it's awful. No, but to go through High Street, but where we have the kind of the S curve there, right after the bridge. It's
Oh, yeah.
what's the restaurant there?
Near Sea Dog?
See, dog?
Sea Dogs,
Dogs,
yeah.
yeah.
Around there, I said, why don't we just have parking on one side of the street? It's awful.
Yes.
You
right
can't
down-
get two cars through if everyone's in. And what happens Thursday night here? Are all the stores open Thursday night? Is that?
It's going out night.
It's always
It
busy. What is
is.
this?
We have a lot more restaurants than we ever used to have, so there are a
Hey,
lot more people.
But Sea Dogs is closed early. No. You know.
I don't know
Cornicello
how early you think.
Yeah, there are a lot of
There are
new
a lot of
restaurants,
We do.
but it just
It's a
seems.
tricky corner.
Yeah.
It is.
Tricky
It is, yeah. I think it's
to-
terrible.
Especially right now.
Even during the daytime, especially
Yeah.
with the snow.
With the snow, yeah, you lose a
we
little
go
bit of the
along down there,
street.
You gotta be careful
Yeah.
right on Water Street
And
where
like
there
you
is
said,
wind,
if-
but
if
there isn't
people-
winter snowbanks.
People go to the sidewalk and they assume that we're going to stop, and they don't look or anything else. And
Yeah. That's another place. I always slow down and look both ways because
Yeah.
right on that corner. The other one is at the other end down there by the old, well, down by Loaf and Ladle now.
Yeah, yeah.
That sidewalk, Scott talked about some thought that perhaps that one should be relocated rather than being there.
Yeah.
Because again, it has that same problem that people are coming down the hill and they think they're good to go.
Yep.
You've got cars and people waiting there.
Right.
Yeah. But,
One thing that would really help by the Sea Dog is things really snarl up when someone coming from the east, coming into town, tries to take the 140-degree turn and go along, I don't know the name of the street there, but they take that.
Did take it to Franklin. 'cause
Yeah.
it's
Franklin Street.
Oh,
one way.
that just, and there's someone coming down from Street and
Yes.
Company, and that just turns into a, that can hold up 20 cars for 30, 45 seconds, or
Yeah.
maybe, there should be no left turn there.
Yeah, that's a good,
Yeah. Yeah.
make a note.
but, so I guess the question in my mind is what are our next steps? Other than to continue, and how is it best we continue? Maybe we need to look at this as be a draft and consider accepting it?
But don't we have to present it to the board?
Do we present it to the select board, or do
Yeah.
we just have?
Oh, we just give it to them?
With your letter of recommendation, I thought that's what we talked about.
Yeah, there would be some recommendation from here, from the planning board, saying that
Yeah.
we agree with the policies outlined here, and it would go to the board, and then the board would adopt it,
Right,
representing the community.
yeah.
Can I ask one question? When you
Sure.
said no left turn at Franklin, that would mean that they'd have to come out into that intersection.
No, if you're on,
You're going over
coming down the hill from the hospital.
Yeah?
And you get to the Sea Dog, and you want to take that left and go really, really hard left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Franklin, so they should go in and out of Franklin and go through that neighborhood.
They should loop around or something.
Okay, I just
Like go
want,
to the
There's-
bandstand.
I do a presentation to the board with my.
With people coming towards you, that poor person trying to take a left has a hard time because there's
Oh, I-
people coming down
Yeah.
from the other side of Street and Company.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plus, there's people coming at them, so it's not efficient for them to turn there anyway. And they bump into people that are trying to come out and go right, and it's one way, the other direction, and it just snarls
I experience it every
everything
day,
up.
twice a day.
Yeah,
I understand
it just-
completely what you're saying.
And you throw a few pedestrians in just for good.
Right,
Yeah.
because they go first,
Right,
hopefully,
right.
right?
Thank you. I just wanted to
Yeah.
clear it up, so when I do my
Yep.
report Monday night.
Yep. And I say the same, almost the same thing for down by Loaf and Ladle now, the current Loaf and Ladle. Very dangerous pedestrian crosswalk, yeah.
And again, a pretty heavy used crosswalk right there too.
Yeah,
As-
oh, the other interesting thing is where people come out from the boat landing
Yeah.
by Stillwell's and take a left or a right, and you got the traffic going, but something's gonna happen there sometime if it hasn't
Right turn
already.
only would be a great idea there.
That's Stewart Park, right? Yes.
Stewart Parkway, yeah.
That'd be a great
You know
spot
where
for right turn
Stillwell's
only.
ice cream stand
Yeah,
is?
right beside Stillwell's.
Yeah, and I
Between
wrote,
that and the boat.
I wrote left, and
Oh,
it's
yeah,
right.
okay.
Yeah, that's the access, that's where the folks that live in what used to be Woolworths, their parking is under the building, so they got all that traffic. It's a pretty big parking lot out there.
There is.
Yeah, it's public parking, and sometimes that's the best place to park, but getting in and out sometimes can be a little hairy. Or just require caution, you know? Yeah,
Line of sight's not great at all,
yeah.
especially for those taking a left, you know, so.
Yeah, because you have the parked cars blocking some, and then
Depending on the
Cars
size
coming
of
at
those
you.
cars, if they're big trucks, you can't really see around them.
So Marty, do you have any feelings in terms of what direction we should be going, or you and John, you're the hot committee members right now?
yeah.
what do you two see as our next steps as we, certainly as you, we need to present it, to have it presented to the select board
Right.
with a letter from us, yep.
Yeah, we have to get a blessing there.
I mean,
Or we don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Scott has worked with the subcommittee we had.
Yeah.
And I think they've done a good job. I think they've gotten, they took input from businesses, from the public and so forth. I think this is in good shape, and I think it lays out the philosophy of complete streets that I'm hoping the town will adopt. And, if the planning board, I would think, would vote to, I don't know how you do it, but basically approve the document
Yeah.
and then move it on to the select board and have it presented to the select board and have the select board, I guess, adopt it or whatever
This
the
is
word.
happening, it's how it's happening,
Yeah.
that's the next step, right?
Yeah.
The town, it's in the master plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's in the
so this
master plan,
isn't
yep.
work that's gonna sit on the shelf, it's happening.
And we
just
would,
have to
we
find
would
the right
present
way.
it, and you guys could then go through it, have us come back or critique it and say, we like
I don't
everything
think
but
that's
this.
ever happened to my knowledge. Usually whatever comes to the select board, they talk about it, they have public comment, and then go from there. I don't ever remember something going back.
I think once the select board adopts it, then somebody needs to make a decision about this advisory committee as to, once you
And
have an
I-
adopted plan.
My last meeting, I did during my report say that you're recommending, or it has been recommended, that there be a committee. So for people just to think about what that might look like. And then I can add that possibly
The,
a planning board subcommittee, so.
Our subcommittee was formed to work through what is it
The
called?
The
facility.
master plan.
The master plan. That's how we started, so
Yeah.
it'd probably make logical to let us continue to do this. Because we worked that, tried to help where we could. So, and
Okay.
I think we'd be interested in seeing it further.
Got it.
I know we won't live long enough to see it all, but
So
Be optimistic.
you're willing to keep working on, okay, that's good. Real, I
Yeah.
heard that. I'm just wondering in my mind if we should have a citizen or maybe our select board rep, although I'm sorry, each one of you are very busy.
yeah.
I was wondering, what am I being?
Someone like
volunteered for?
Silas. Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
I think it would be
Like a good citizen.
a good citizen.
a good person to have involved in this.
When does your master plan committee happens during the day?
Does.
And that is tough for, so,
We've seen you in the morning.
sure.
Sure, so please introduce yourself, so. There may be
folks.
some people watching tonight.
My name is Silas Richards, and I live over on Locust Ave. I really am energized by the conversations that you folks had at the last planning board meeting and this planning board meeting. This is a really important issue in town, and I am very appreciative of the oversight committee's actions on this so far. From the conversation tonight, I do have some concerns with a subcommittee of the planning board, especially if it's exclusive only to planning board members. When this idea was born and through conversations with different people who live in Exeter, who walk in Exeter, who cycle in Exeter,
Yeah.
it's imperative that those voices are included in this advisory committee.
Yeah.
Not to say that it shouldn't include town staff as well, including our planner. Public safety has to have a seat at the table in order to have meaningful conversations about some of these very large projects, right? We have Article 20, that is a huge opportunity over on Railroad Ave to increase the safety and the experience for everyone in Exeter, whether that's drivers, whether it's walkers or cyclists, right? So giving a wide variety of people a seat at the table, consider Riverwood's perspective as well, right? Different users who are going to be in the area to have a seat at the table is a really great way to have a proactive approach to these projects rather than reactive. A lot of the conversation over the last year has been in response to previous projects, right? But collecting those stakeholders together, we can work together and start workshopping before the final designs of projects are laid out, right? For instance, the roundabout that is going in hopefully this spring, right? There are some really wonderful advancements in terms of pedestrian safety. But if we had multiple stakeholders at the table, I think we could have made it a little bit better, right? I think it's a step in the right direction, but it involves including people in the public and at an accessible time. So thank you, Ms. Belanger, for bringing that forward, right? 11 or 8 a.m. on a Thursday can be tricky for a lot of people who live in town and work in town. So thank you for considering those points.
Silas, I'm sorry, can I just follow up?
Yeah,
Mr. Chair,
absolutely.
do you mind if I- So what do you think would be a good committee, like at night, time-wise? You think we'd get more people to the table?
I think so, right? And I think that variety is the most important component of this committee. We want people who are walking their children to school. We want people who are coming out from Riverwoods. We just, as a town, invested a lot of money in extending those sidewalks, right? We want to be able to hear from the people that are living in those neighborhoods and are using those features so we can incorporate that for better designs. That being said, outside of traditional working hours is generally better, right? And that goes into the frequency too. How often are we meeting as a committee? And what is the scope of the committee? I think that's another important consideration. We have a lot of future projects coming up. So in a perfect world, I imagine this committee would have some input on those future projects. But we also have opportunities to improve the existing conditions using low-cost and affordable materials. Mr. Bogle mentioned some in his presentation 2 weeks ago, where we can use demonstration projects, where we're using cheap bollards or jersey barriers to establish more safe elements for pedestrians and cyclists. There are towns in New Hampshire that have used just traffic cones to daylight crosswalks, like the one in front of D Squared, right?
Yeah.
There's low-cost solutions that we can do, and then there's big capital improvements. And this committee has a lot of power to make change and make change instantly.
Can I have one more follow-up, Mr. Chair? So if we go the route of the road sharing downtown, because we really don't have a wide downtown, right? So we'd put the signs that the bikes are in the road with the cars. That scenario in mind, if say at the Stewart Park, we change that exit to a right turn only. I'm not a bicyclist. You are, obviously. Does that make it safer, do you think, instead of having cars turning out both ways? Would that make a difference? And I know I'm putting you on the spot, and you can always come back and tell me something different, but.
These are great questions, and a committee that is focused on this with people who are experiencing these areas could more readily answer than one individual.
Yeah, put it around.
I walk there, I ride there. It's been talked a lot, right? Water Street is a dangerous road for cyclists. Given the restraints of the right-of-way, it is going to be cyclists riding in traffic. During the meeting of the public, there were some really creative solutions discussed, right? Creating bicycle parking at the peripheries of our downtown and making sure that it's safe for cyclists and their families to go park their bikes safely and then walk into town. So given the limitations that we have, this committee and this board has a real opportunity to make it a safer environment.
Thank you. You just gave a great example of why committees are important. So that you can sit down, have a talk, scenario. So thank you. Thank you for indulging me, Mr. Chair.
My concern is getting too big a committee. And how do you get,
I think you have to
Go ahead, John.
prioritize maybe what you're going to do. Oh, you know, the committee could do that, but then
Well, that's.
different projects will take different people. You know, the people looking more for the sidewalks or the playgrounds, whatever. So, I mean, we could do that. You want 50 people in the room trying to decide something, I don't believe.
The idea of this is, it's described in the design guidelines, is that this is a citizens advisory committee.
Yeah.
And so, obviously it can't be too big,
Yeah.
but it has to have good representation of
Yeah.
somebody from business, somebody from, the bike community, somebody from, I don't know what that number is, but those details can be worked out. But this should be a citizens advisory committee that, as time goes on, when projects come up, that committee will be kind of putting their hands up and saying, hey, wait a minute, before Public Works or planning moves on this project, let's talk about this. There's an opportunity to do something here or do something there. That was the idea. And so, maybe it has one representative from the planning board, maybe one representative from staff, Public Works or whatever. But the rest should be, citizens. And again, it's not a.
Yeah. That's how they're done.
In my mind, it's not a committee that's making decisions. It's an advisory committee. So it's something, they're the ones who are going to be working with staff when projects come up and say, hey, can we, before you move ahead with this project, let's talk about this.
Yeah. And then staff can explain the pros and cons of the suggestions. And that's what typically happens. We decide to do a committee on an issue, this one, for example, and then the select board, with the help of our interim town manager at the time, will make a suggestion, pull together how many people, the representatives from different departments, and then we've had times where the board worked on the mission statement for a committee, but we've also had people fill out applications, staff that committee, and then have them talk about their mission. But I believe ultimately the select board approves missions. But yeah, there are ways of doing it, but I'm not worried about too many people being on a committee. I don't think we've ever had that problem. But the number of people on a committee is established before people fill out applications.
But the type of projects that's discussed in here, we might need different people for different projects. That's what I was getting at.
Well, I don't know if that's,
We'll face that when we start doing it, right?
yeah.
Well, you should have your cyclists, your pedestrians, your.
Yeah, I just said make sure if it was on something that affects
car
pedestrians more, make sure we,
So when the board does the interviews, they look for what each applicant can bring to the table,
Okay.
and then we appoint accordingly. Does that help?
that's very good.
Okay.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, please.
So one benefit to having this couched in, and maybe the meeting time frame doesn't work and can be tweaked, but one benefit of having this couch in the master plan oversight committee, the subcommittee to the planning board, is there's a number of recommendations that have come out through the downtown pedestrian and traffic movement document, the bike and pedestrian master plan, and this document. There's going to need to be some sort of prioritization of which activities can be implemented when.
Yep.
And subcommittees can have members of the public. So, the trail committee is an example of that. We have kind of this flexing number of attendees participate depending on what projects are coming up. And so,
So it's a self-selection kind of
the
thing.
beauty, though, of having it, and maybe there's a way to do like a lunchtime meeting or something where people could Zoom in, so that you can capture those volunteers who work during the day. The beauty of having a daytime meeting means you have the director of public works available, you have the town planner available, and those two positions already have a whole lot of night meetings. And so I guess I just offer a word of caution, like let's not throw out the concept of it being couched in the master plan oversight committee, but find a way to bring in volunteers by maybe changing the meeting time to include the lunch hour or offering, Zoom options, which you can't really do if it was an official citizens advisory committee because you need a quorum of that committee present. And so I guess just think about those things when you, work through the pros and cons of different options.
Thank you, that was good.
Yeah, and I think we know that our planner's coming back soon. And between our planner and Kristen, I have a feeling that once he gets caught up, they can brainstorm on some ways that we might be able to do this. I'm pretty confident that.
Well, I want to come back to your comment in terms of setting the scope of this group. That's something that we could do initially. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, if I could build on Kristen's point, I think Kristen really hit the nail on the head where in this committee there needs to be town staff representation because many of these projects, if not every single one of these projects, is very complex. It's multifaceted, and we really have an opportunity. And this master plan touches on building a network, right? And making sure that we have the planning department looped in and public safety is going to be critical. And the more that I think about this, including our recreation department, in this plan, it does mention connecting our assets, right? And making sure that we are all moving across the town in lockstep with each other to accomplish those common goals is important.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a lot of night meetings, and I'll just go on a little bit about what Kristen's saying.
My phone's up.
We have a lot of employees that are here at night, and, they get, we try to take care of them that way, but that's one of the reasons why the select board has talked about the potential of next year, or this year, but after March, taking a look at all the committees and seeing if we can just tweak them a little bit to condense them or what have you. We have over 100 volunteers typically, so that might be something to see where we could, I don't know. I'd love to hear some ideas on that at some point, but.
Another option could be some form of, the master plan oversight committee could be the vector, but there's some form of committee, resident vetting of projects and ideas, either through creating a form, like, have you thought about all users in this? And, so that there's a prompt to a process to look at all of these different interest groups and having the connections with residents who are that way motivated is a great benefit.
That doesn't mean we can't find a way to do it now, right? So we haven't ever done something like that, but that doesn't mean we can't try to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
But I think Silas had a good point. Nighttime it is probably better for some, not all, but for some. So even having, I don't know what the possibility legally of Zooming. They can if they're going to do a public comment. But you're right. If it's a meeting and people are on an advisory committee, you have to have a quorum within the meeting room. So all logistics we'll figure out. Yeah.
You can't get that with Zoom, with the members participating as.
They can participate, but you still have to have a quorum in.
Live people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and yes.
Well, that's, detail to know about. We got to build this thing. So.
That's it, right, that's how it is right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Legislature could change that, but
No, sure.
I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't either, but it's none of their business.
It would be nice if that wasn't
Yeah,
a requirement, but it is.
yeah.
Well,
No, that's only right. Yeah.
I think it's probably a good thing.
It all depends when you have a meeting and somebody's on a business trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are times it's.
So what's our next step to get this in front of the select board?
I guess,
So we can see, before we go any further, we can see if they want to go along with this. We need your blessing, right?
I was going to say, we could approve it, or we could accept it. We need to take some action
We do first,
from,
but to
I
forward it
think
to
where we're
them.
at, we're excited about it. We need to do something to make it official, so we can write to the select board that this shows us some great thinking. And we have
This is
asked that Scott be able to be presenting it at that time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
With some of us board members sitting
Yeah,
at,
with them.
that
yeah.
meeting, yeah.
So
Has
what do you-
everybody reviewed it well enough to feel comfortable drafting a letter to the select board to say we
Good question.
have reviewed this? And I say that because I probably haven't examined it as closely as I should.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to be I think it's a fabulous
Well,
idea, and I don't want to hold it up, but
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I
being
understand.
honest.
No, yeah, I mean, if that's is a decision, then I think part of that is we need, I'm not sure, it doesn't sound like much is going on at our next planning board meeting, but we need a little time to do just what you're saying. Sit down with us uninterrupted and go through it and see if it meets our criteria.
Yeah.
Then we could take some action on that, if that makes
So
sense.
maybe by the next meeting?
We had, and Scott did most of the work, but, a lot of the verbiage in here would say, well, maybe it should say it this way and that way. We've gone through that, and we made a bunch of changes, and you may have something you'd rather see look differently, the description or something, but we could go on with that forever.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yep. No, I don't want to be the one to hold it up. I just.
No, I think.
I mean, there's a lot of meat here, and.
There is, yeah.
These are important.
I mean, I think you should take the time to go through it.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
But we should advance it as quick as we can.
Yep.
So if we could, the next meeting or whatever.
Schedule.
We shouldn't wait 6 months. That's
No, I would
No, no,
want,
no, that's why-
you've made great points about that.
That's why
I don't want this to
thought we
be
should meet
something
tonight
on
and
a
make some
shelf.
decisions. Yeah.
What's the date on yours? Different.
February?
Yeah, I don't have that one. I don't.
You know,
And then there's the time.
I have a
The
bunch.
chair has to put it on the agenda,
Right.
and there's a look ahead, sometimes
Oh, no.
a month or two or whatever, I can't, I
Yeah.
don't do the agenda. So, just keep that in mind, that once you come to a conclusion, it goes to the select board and then it gets put on the agenda, but there's no,
yeah.
can't guarantee it would be on the next select board's meeting. Less, so.
So next meeting is,
So be on the agenda to have our discussion to.
would be continue this discussion,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Decide that we're ready to forward it to the,
Okay, so the 12th of March is the next planning board meeting I have on my calendar.
It would be, yep. I like March and February when they're the same dates. Same days, same dates.
Oh, yeah.
It really makes sense.
easy to remember, yeah.
Keep bringing you back in.
My perpetual calendar loves it. I only have to change the month.
Am I upsetting the apple cart by having made that?
No, I don't think
Are you
so.
Not at
are
all.
No, no,
comfortable with that?
we can still talk a little more if we want to, but I think,
I'd like to make a
I think that-
decision next week, at
Yeah.
the next meeting.
yep, yep,
But
Be prepared.
be prepared, right. I'd like to have Jen and Aaron be able to be part of that decision making.
Yeah, he may have something to say. Might have to call him and remind him he's still on the board.
Yeah. We have those discussions. If he keeps this up, he's going to become chair.
Is there anything else, Silas, you'd like to?
Yeah, I'd just like to comment on one more thing. But first, I'd like to thank you folks for seriously taking the time to make sure that this is the document that we want to advance forward. It has been laid out in multiple town surveys, in the bike and pedestrian master plan, that people in this community want to see safer streets,
Yeah.
right? This is a guideline to help achieve that. That said, this Citizens Advisory Committee, whatever form that takes, right, I'd strongly encourage this board to advance that as fast as possible. There are critical projects that are working and being developed as we speak, and it is much cheaper to make changes earlier in a process than late stage. And I think this board can appreciate that. And I'm blanking on my second note. And my second note, oh my goodness, now I've lost it again. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to end my remarks because I will not be able to remember it. Thank you, folks, for your time.
If you remember.
Well, we can count on you to be one of those people that'll help us out, right?
I would be honored to
So
help move this ball
You'll have
forward.
a chance to remember what you wanted to say.
Yes, thank you.
No,
Thank you, folks.
I appreciate the effort you put into it. You know, you've been following us around now for a couple of months, so.
It's going on the better part of a year.
Yeah, you've been
and
meeting with department heads and other things, too,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, right.
You've been having conversations.
Exactly. Thank you. This is a huge document, right? And it's really an opportunity. But the sooner that we can get the ball rolling on taking a look at those items identified in that bike and pedestrian master plan.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about those big capital improvement projects. I'm talking about low-cost improvements that we can do to improve the experience of people shopping downtown, right? We have a commercial district up on Front Street that is going to be profoundly impacted by Article 20 should it pass, right? And that whole neighborhood will be changed depending on how those designs go. And having citizen input and people who live there and bike there will make a world of difference and really chart Exeter's trajectory. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I think the advantage, what Silas brought up, of having, this discussion about having people from all different facets of our community involved, I think that will also help
Yep.
keep this going. People are going to talk to their families, their friends, their neighbors, and there's going to be a
And
push.
hopefully apply for
Yeah.
yes, right.
But it'll also, people will have a stake, whatever it may be, if they're a business, if they're someone from a bike club, they're all going to be wanting to see this move forward.
Well, it kind of makes me think of some charrettes we've done, and one in particular is when we did Lincoln Street.
Yep.
I don't know if you were familiar with that, but there was a lot of discussion going on, and it was the residents, basically, that was, and other
And it happened.
other members and, citizens of the town, but it's kind of exciting to talk about stuff that you know is going to happen. And
Absolutely.
your involvement is there because you're going to be living right next to it or something, yeah. So I'm thinking, one of the things while we review this, maybe we might try to identify some of those groups. Sometime we're going to have to do that, but with no reason, in terms of trying to move along, because you're right. We could start working on who's going to be on this. I mean, it's clear consensus that we're going to have some kind of advisory committee.
Take all the help we can.
We'll figure out the nuts and bolts on it somehow, but who should be those various people? What are the clientele or the citizenship that needs to be represented there?
And each project will be different.
Yes, yeah, and open to, particular projects coming along. I mean,
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Kristen, just if you guys could maybe for the next meeting have those ideas, because on Monday night, I'm going to do my report to the select board and say that the hope is to try to get the committee, an advisory committee or of some sort, up and running now, instead of normally it's, the report's accepted, then the committee, people know what they're going to be working on. This is kind of a new approach, as far as I'm concerned. in my experience. So it doesn't mean it can't be done, but that's not my decision alone.
Yeah.
So I would like to talk to the select board and let them know what might be coming, so that they can have a chance individually to think about how they would like to approach this.
I think part of the excitement for me is that this is a kind of another avenue for the planning board to put under the wing, if you will, or work with it. It's not approving a structure or building kind of thing. We're looking at the future and positive growth within the community to make it safer, to continue to build on that, which
So to keep it under the
we have a
planning
certain
board.
amount of responsibility for. But
Okay.
this is a kind of a side avenue. I don't want to say side avenue, it's a very important avenue to go. Perhaps this is the direction that the board needs to move along, is see how things are happening in terms of the community as a whole and safety and getting around and all that kind of stuff. And how do you get from here to there? Things aren't, rec department's not close where it was before. So for me to put a sign out there, I gotta run up on Hampton Road to get a key to open the darn signboard down here and take it back to them. And then in the end of another week, I gotta go back and get the key again to open it up to take what I did, put in out, and take it then back up there. I could just go around the
Go to
corner.
the hardware store and make
So,
a copy.
I mean, that's something I said, let's put a little box someplace in a corner so everybody that needs it knows where it is. But you don't have to put on 10 miles on your car and an hour of your time running back and forth. I happen to have that time available, so anyway. But
Before you close, Mr. Chair, can I raise another idea? And
Sure.
that's, we did the Lincoln Street demonstration project. Scott mentioned it.
yes,
And although it was a pouring, rainy day, there was so much energy around that. And so that might be a way to really energize the residents around some of these projects and plan sometime this year to do a demonstration project of some of these, easy, low lift proposals for
Right.
bump outs or, whatever that is.
Exeter
it's a-
TV there to
Yeah.
film it, and then
Yeah.
for those who couldn't attend, they could at least see what was happening.
So you're still getting that energy
Yeah.
injection from
Yeah.
people getting excited
Yeah.
about these
that's
concepts.
just what it's
Yep.
about, yeah.
Good.
Okay,
Exeter TV loves to do things like that.
we need to assign ourselves anything else to do there, Gwen? Read and memorize the document, be ready to stand
Your
up and
homework.
defend it.
There'll be a quiz.
Each of us will have to speak for 5 minutes.
I'm ready. I'm
And the
shamed.
best one gets a hot dog down it. What's the name of the hot dog place? Yeah.
Lee Frank?
And think about which, I don't know if it's groups of people or individuals or, which kind of folks need to be on that committee.
Have those thoughts when we come.
Yeah, yeah. Begin that thinking process.
Obviously, the people that live closest to it will be there.
Yep, yep.
Awesome.
Anything else, Marty?
No? No.
Okay, good. Gentlemen,
Do we have another?
you're the newbies around here.
Wait to see where this is
I
going.
think when you build your committee, people who work in the shops and restaurants downtown would have
Yes.
a unique perspective.
Yeah?
Yep, yep.
That they're coming at all hours and they're getting feedback from the people coming into the shops and restaurants as well.
Good point.
Okay, I think we're set, comfortable. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Yeah.
Do you want a motion to adjourn, or do we know?
Oh, I suppose we should.
So moved.
Okay,
Done for the night?
we stand adjourned. Thank you for coming this evening.
That's why I opened my mouth. When you looked at
Thank
me, I
you
was
for
just-
tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv,